Right, doing a clutch on a 1972 JCB 3C. So it's quite reasonably simple to get the flooring out. So you basically unbolt the flooring. There should be 3 bolts on each side. Okay, so the flooring comes out. You've got to take the accelerator, disconnect the accelerator from the front end and pull that out. Then you've got to take, it's quite difficult getting in here without slipping. Alright, so basically you have a little shield cover. It goes across there, and that's 2 bolts, and that comes out. So you've got access. As you can see, there's your plate that takes you into your box. Okay. So what we're doing is we're now just taking the battery out. So the battery's out. Bear with me 1 second. Right, so here we are. That was a bit of a struggle. Right, so this has all got to come out. This whole section, all your air box. So just basically disconnect the bolts, and then there's 4 bolts, but for some reason there's only 2 on this one. So obviously somebody's had it out before and couldn't be bothered to put the bolts back in. But anyway, I'll get some new bolts and that. So we've got to take that out as well, so we can get in access onto it. There's also a plate. Got to take this out underneath here. So yeah, that's kind of it's quite simple. It's designed to be maintained on site. So if there was a problem with the clutch, you can just do it on site, and an engineer will come out and just do it. So it's quite a clever design. As we go through step by step, I've kind of show you. I will have to try and do I forgot to do the first video of me undoing the flooring, but I think everyone understands how to do the flooring anyway. It's just 3 bolts, you undo it, and then it just kind of slides out. Very heavy, but they slide out. So yeah, that's where we are so far. All right. So I just thought I'd let you see whereabouts we are. So, and then obviously we get the little hatch on top of the box undone. Right, as you can see, now I've undone 2 bolts, but there should be 4, and that now gives us access, good access. Obviously you get better access from the inside, but it gives us good access now for the plate, so we can have a look at the clutch. Ignore this pathetic whatever this is. Well, it's the fuel. Yeah, the idiot that, again, it's unbelievable the bodge ups on this JCB, but it's very shocking. But there we are. So we'll sort that out another day. So let's sort the clutch out first. But yeah, that's how you basically get in there. So it's all removed. The airbox is removed, battery tray's moved, and there we are. So now we're just ready to open the hatch and shall we say collapse and fall on the floor, what we find. So basically you undo 1 bolt there, 1 bolt at the front. On the other side it's just 1 bolt on one side, and then it's these 3 big bolts here. You have to undo, but 3 on each side, which is a total of 6 obviously. So that's basically what you have to do. So just so you can get in there. Again, I don't know what all that rope's to do with, but what can I say? So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we'll unbolt them, and then we should be able to rip that top off, and then we can say hello to the clutch. Just a quick one to show you. We've put basically a bit of rope on there on the bolts, just to give us a little bit of pullage. It comes up through this way. The problem is we've hit the back of it, has hit the bodgy up wiring loom that somebody else has put in here. So we've now got to try and move that wiring loom a little bit and make it a little bit more out of the way. So that just literally will just pull up and out and come out straight out through here. So that's why you take out the battery trays, because you're bringing this part out through here. It's not that difficult really. It's quite easy. Just a little bit fiddly here and there, but yeah, it's not as hard as doing a clutch on any other tractor where you have to break them in half. JCB clutch. There we go. As you can see, The bearing is completely mullered. I don't know how that's happened, but that is in a right state. So let's get this, undo them bolts and pop that off, and let's get that out. Right, there we are. As you can see, we've now slowly getting there. Just got to now get that bit out. This hasn't been going for a long time. What a mess. We found a few little bits and pieces though in there. We found a pair of them inside there. It's all coming out slowly, so this all needs to be cleaned up. Look at the state of that. So yeah, obviously an engineer has lost a pair of them. So yeah, so we're just getting there now. So we just got to now undo them bolts there, and then they come out. To be honest with you, a very easy clutch. I just wished every vehicle was like this, as easy as, especially like a Land Rover Discovery, or you know, the old Land Rover Defender. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just change your clutch nice and easy like this? So yeah, you know, it's a great design. The only thing is a little bit awkward. If you are a bit of a fatty, then you're going to be a bit stuffed, that's for sure. But if you're a little twiglet, you can get in here. Hence why I'm not getting in here. Yeah, I'm a little bit on, not fat, but I'm a little bit big, and I can't fit in there. Only one leg I get in there. But my little dad can get in there. A little man, he can get in there. So he's my little garden gnome. So he does all the work. He's a good man. Right, as you can see, the mess and the state of this clutch is in. It's unbelievable. Look at that. It's absolutely fucked. Well, this ain't the clutch, but you know. See how it's broken? Now, there's only one reason why this has happened like this. Only one reason, and I will show you any second. Right, as you can see, you've got the spline. The spline's there. Now, there's a gap between the spline. There's a piece that inserts in there and stops basically the spline from popping out. Now, I think whoever fitted the last clutch, because looking at the clutch, looks pretty new. It looks like that they've basically not put that part in, because it wasn't in there when I come to change. So we're actually just making a part now to go in there properly. We're just drilling the holes to the clip. So basically, see them holes there? So the pin goes through there and clips in and goes right through the whole thing. So we're just doing that now. So I'm just making one of them right this second. So that's kind of that really. That's kind of how it works. But that's where we are with it at the moment. As you can see that pipe there? I've managed to fit one of them off a grease gun, because we were unable to locate a pipe. No one knew what we were talking about. So I've made my own piece that will work. That goes on to the inside of the housing, and then you can just pump it with grease. It's a flexy bit of pipe. There we are. That'll work perfect. So it's looking pretty good in there. So it's just a case of just bolting the clutch in now. So yeah, as you can see, this ain't really that old. It's not really that old, but obviously whoever's fitted it, they've lost that part that goes in the centre. So yeah, there we are. Right guys, so we have a JCB 3C air filter. As you can see, it is a little bit manky, but I have seen worse. So there we are. Right, we have a, wow, the camera doesn't show it, dent quite a big dent there. It's quite vicious actually. It goes in there and as well. You can see it there where it's dented. So yep, that have a well, good camera. Don't actually show the dent, but yeah, you can kind of see there is a dent. It does look, it actually is quite nasty. So there's obviously a few repairs I need to do. Clean this up. I will get a new one of them eventually, but I'm not going to worry about the hoses just yet. Let's get it all looking half decent into paint and everything else. So we're going to redo the air filter. So the next step now is to grind it all down, pull that dent out, and get it into some red oxide primer. Right, as you can see, we are slowly prepping up the JCB airbox. Now we can see where the dents are. So what we do is we'll get that out, and what I'll do is I'll slowly push it out. So I'll get my bars in there, and I'll slowly push and lever that out. And then as I sand that down, that'll slowly disappear. So we'll have, hopefully, we'll have a metal finish dent on that. So we're getting there. So I've been slowly pushing it out, getting the dents out. There's a little one there, which is going to be a little difficult, but I will get it out, don't worry. And this will be all smooth, completely smooth. We'll put this into some red oxide primer, and then we'll primer it up, and then we'll get it into its main coat, or temporary coat for now, a base coat. Right, as you can see, the shiny bits are all in. Looks quite nice. That pipe, oh, that pipe here, I've just tied it up just so it's out of the way for when I drop the housing on. So basically, all we do is you've got to line the housing up. So where you've got the arch bit of the housing, you line it up over the hinge in here, and you just drop it in. Make sure everything's all out of the way, all your wires, cables, hydraulic pipes, tie them all up out of the way. As you can see, there's a bit of rope down there. Tie it all up out of the way, because it is quite tight, but it does slip in quite nicely. But it's all about getting the right angle. So basically, you've got to drop it in just like that. So that's obviously the next job, so we'll do that now. But it's all in. You know, to be honest with you, it would be quite easy if you was just changing a clutch. But obviously, some sort of bunch of monkeys have been working on this one, and they busted this, broke that, decided not to put that bit in, and left this bit out and this clip not in it. So we're, you know, we had to buy a few bits that were missing. So, but yeah, it's there. It's looking good now, all cleaned up. Right, here we are. So what I've done is I've screwed a screw in here, or bolt should I say, and then tied a little bit of rope just to give me a little bit of lift for when I drop it in. Now that's the angle it's got to go in at. So what we do is this bit here must be in line with your rocker cover as you drop it in. So you're dropping, get my glove out of the way, so you're dropping it in straight in like that and down. Okay, and that's the same way you bring it up. So right, I'm going to lift it up and whack it in. I've got no one to hold camera for me, so let me give it 2 minutes and I'll be back on again. I'll just press pause. As you can see, there we are. I'm slowly hoisting it in. It's just got literally caught up on a pipe, so just going to free that pipe by just moving it, and then she'll plop straight in. So it is pretty easy, but you've just got to make sure you get everything right. The hard bit is actually guiding this in. Now obviously I've painted it up, so that's the difficult bit, but try not to scratch too much paintwork. But we're getting there. Right, with a little wiggle and a little shove, and there we are, in she went. Isn't too bad really. I've tackled things worse and harder, put it that way, but it's just the weight, it's a little heavy. So sort of play around with, and you've got to be careful you don't sort of crush your fingers. That's the most important thing. But yep, it's in. So we just need to bolt it down, and that's the clutch done. Right, so basically the clutch is all done. We fitted it all in. Again, you know, I'd like to say it was reasonably easy. To be honest with you, you could do it if you were just literally ripping a clutch out and putting a clutch in. You could do it in a day, quite easy. If you started first thing in the morning, you know, finish sort of about, you know, 5, 6 o'clock, the whole day, obviously have a lunch break and that, you would quite easily achieve it. However, if you've got a job like we had, where basically the clutch was all mangled up and all the bits were mangled and it had pieces missing, obviously you have to take it apart, see what you need, order the clutch, order the parts, which, you know, that's what we did. And while I was at it, we was cleaning up the parts, so everything was cleaned up. As you can see, it's all painted inside, it's all been painted and cleaned up and all put back nicely. And that's why it took us, you know, I'd say truthfully, obviously I had to wait for a couple of parts to come, which took a couple of days. You know how it is, you know, by the time you do a bit of painting and that, let it dry and then give it a second coat, bit of sanding down, so there's all that involved. Now the reason green, I'll tell you why green, before people start asking why have you painted it green. Well, the truth was, when I got this JCB, I managed to find out a bit of history about it. Originally it was ordered from JCB. Obviously I think there's a whole fleet of them that was ordered, because they would only do it like this if a whole fleet was ordered. It was painted green from JCB. It was an ex-military JCB, MOD. Then from there it was sold off in an auction, obviously an army auction. It was sold off, and a hire company bought it. They painted the tractor yellow, and then they painted the wheels blue. The back wheels were blue, front wheels were blue. But yeah, so that's basically what it was. It was an ex-army JCB, and as I've been going through it, I have been finding bits of green bits. So I managed to have a little look for that year. I spoke to a friend who works for JCB, and they managed to find out it's obviously, you know, what its order and things like that, who ordered it and where it was, why it was built and things like that. So it was quite a good bit of information. So I do know most of the history of this JCB. It was it's bought from JCB as an MOD vehicle, and then obviously it went, after that it was sold to a hire company, and then it was sold privately over in West Sussex. No, not West Sussex. It was sold, West Sussex, over in West Sussex, and then from West Sussex it was over in Kent for a bit, and now it's back in West Sussex, Hampshire way, where I am now. So that's kind of where it is now. So as you can see, it's got a spare wheel on there because the wheel that it had on it originally was damaged. It's got army wheels on it, army tyres. But yeah, I'm just going to repair the rim up and then obviously put the wheel back on. But yeah, that's why it's green. So I'm actually putting it back to originally what it came out of the factory. Not every JCB come out yellow. If you order enough of them, they'll paint it to the colour that you want. I guess a bit like any factory really. But there we are. So yeah, but the clutch was good and I enjoyed doing the clutch. Would I do another one again? Yes, I would. It was a lot easier than doing any other tractor, because you have to normally split the whole thing in half. So yeah, it was a great little job, and I feel very happy that I've done it. So yeah, next thing we're going to do is going to be the brakes. So that's going to be the next video, is doing the brakes on these. So keep a lookout.